The United States government is made up of three parts: the legislative branch, the executive branch, and the judicial branch. This is the judicial branch in plain English. This portion of the government is made up of the court system. No, not those kinds of courts. We are talking about the local courts, the Court of Appeals, and the Supreme Court. Let's start at the bottom. Say you were to be accused of committing a murder. You would be put on trial in a local court where a judge would find you guilty or not guilty. Now, let's pretend you are innocent. You did not commit the murder, but they find you guilty of the crime anyway. That brings us to the next level of courts. If you are unhappy with the outcome of your trial, because in this case you are being charged with a crime you didn't commit, you can present your case in front of the Court of Appeals. At that point, the Court of Appeals can do one of three things. The first option is for them to agree that your trial was unfairly conducted and send you back to the local court where you would get a retrial. Secondly, they could completely drop your charges. If your case is so strong that they don't believe there is any need for a retrial, you could be freed of any conviction you have undergone. The last thing the Court of Appeals could do is just say no. They could completely disagree with your plea, in which case you would have the opportunity to apply to present yourself in front of the Supreme Court. However, the head of the Supreme Court gets to choose which cases that court will take, so not all applications are accepted. Of over the 7,500 cases sent to the Supreme Court each year, only about 0.01% are taken. Now let's talk about the Supreme Court. This is the highest authority in the land. It is made up of a head judge or chief justice and 8 associate judges. These members are appointed by the President of the United States and approved by the Senate. Once they are selected, they serve for life. In order to become a member of the Supreme Court, candidates are put through extensive background checks. Essentially, everything that they have done their whole life is dug up and looked into to ensure the security of our country. Finally, the primary jobs of the Supreme Court are arguing the meanings of laws and how they are applied, and making sure no authorities or laws are unconstitutional. This has been the Judicial Branch in plain English.